She had every claim, therefore, on a compatriot's help and friendship. She stretched out her hand and took Desiree Candeille's in her own. She forced herself to feel nothing but admiration for this young woman, whose whole attitude spoke of sorrows nobly borne, of misfortunes proudly endured. "I don't know why I should sadden you with my story," rejoined Desiree Candeille after a slight pause, during which she seemed to be waging war against her own emotion. "It is not a very interesting one. Hundreds have suffered as I did. I had enemies in Paris. God knows how that happened. I had never harmed anyone, but someone must have hated me, and must have wished me ill. Evil is so easily wrought in France these days. A denunciation, a perquisition, an accusation, then the flight from Paris, the forged passports, the disguise, the bribe, the hardships, the squalid hiding places. Oh, I have gone through it all, tasted every kind of humiliation, endured every kind of insult. Remember that I was not a noble aristocrat, a duchess or an impoverished countess," she added with marked bitterness, "or perhaps the English cavaliers whom the popular voice has called the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel would have taken some interest in me. I was only a poor actress, and had to find my way out of France alone, or else perish on the guillotine." "I am so sorry," said Marguerite simply. "Tell me how you got on, once you were in England," she continued after a while, seeing that Desiree Candeille seemed absorbed in thought. "I had a few engagements at first," replied the Frenchwoman. "I played at Sadler's Wells, and with Mrs. Jordan at Covent Garden, but the Aliens Bill put an end to my chances of livelihood. No manager cared to give me a part, and so..." "And so?" "Oh, I had a few jewels and I sold them. A little money, and I live on that. But when I played at Covent Garden I contrived to send part of my salary over to some of the poorer clubs of Paris. My heart aches for those that are starving. Poor wretches! They are misguided and misled by self-seeking demagogues. It hurts me to feel that I can do nothing more to help them, and eases my self-respect if by singing at public fairs I can still send a few francs to those who are poorer than myself." She had spoken with ever-increasing passion and vehemence. Marguerite, with eyes fixed into vacancy, seeing neither the speaker nor her surroundings, seeing only visions of those same poor wreckages of humanity who had been goaded into thirst for blood when their shrunken bodies should have been clamouring for healthy food, Marguerite, thus absorbed, had totally forgotten her earlier prejudices, and now completely failed to note all that was unreal, stagey, theatrical, in the oratorical declamations of the ex-actress from the Varietes. Preeminently true and loyal herself, in spite of the many deceptions and treacheries which she had witnessed in her life, she never looked for falsehood or for cant in others. Even now she only saw before her a woman who had been wrongfully persecuted, who had suffered and had forgiven those who had caused her to suffer. She bitterly accused herself for her original mistrust of this noble-hearted, unselfish woman, who was content to tramp around in an alien country, bartering her talents for a few coins, in order that some of those who were the originators of her sorrows might have bread to eat and a bed in which to sleep. "Mademoiselle," she said warmly, "truly you shame me, who am also French-born, with the many sacrifices you so nobly make for those who should have first claim on my own sympathy. Believe me, if I have not done as much as duty demanded of me in the cause of my starving compatriots, it has not been for lack of goodwill. Is there any way now," she added eagerly, "in which I can help you? Putting aside the question of money, wherein I pray you to command my assistance, what can I do to be of useful service to you?" "You are very kind, Lady Blakeney," said the other hesitatingly. "Well, what is it? I see there is something in your mind." "It is perhaps difficult to express, but people say I have a good voice. I sing some French ditties. They are a novelty in England, I think. If I could sing them in fashionable salons, I might perhaps..." "Nay, you shall sing in fashionable salons," exclaimed Marguerite eagerly. "You shall become the fashion, and I'll swear the Prince of Wales himself shall bid you sing at Carlton House, and you shall name your own fee, mademoiselle, and London society shall vie with the elite of Bath, as to which shall lure you to its most frequented routs. There, there! You shall make a fortune for the Paris poor, and to prove to you that I mean every word I say, you shall begin your triumphant career in my own salon to-morrow night. His Royal Highness will be present. You shall sing your most engaging songs, and for your fee you must accept 100 guineas, which you shall send to the poorest workmen's club in Paris in the name of Sir Percy and Lady Blakeney." "I thank your ladyship, but you'll not refuse?" "I'll accept gladly, But you will understand, I am not very old," said Candeille quaintly. I am only an actress, but if a young actress is unprotected, then..." "I understand," replied Marguerite gently, "that you are far too pretty to frequent the world all alone, and that you have a mother, or a sister, or a friend, which, whom you would wish to escort you to-morrow. Is that it?" "Nay," rejoined the actress with marked bitterness, "I have neither mother nor sister, but our revolutionary government, with tardy compassion for those it has so relentlessly driven out of France, has deputed a representative of theirs in England to look after the interests of French subjects over here." "Yes?" "They have realized over in Paris that my life here has been devoted to the welfare of the poor people in France. The representative whom the government has sent to England is specially interested in me and in my work. He is a standby for me in case of trouble, in case of insults. A woman alone is oft subject to those, even at the hands of so-called gentlemen. And the official representative of my own country becomes in such cases my most natural protector." "I understand." "You will receive him?" "Certainly." "Then may I present him to your ladyship?" "Whenever you like." "Now, if it please you." "Now?" "Yes, here he comes, at your ladyship's service." Desiree Candeille's almond-shaped eyes were fixed upon a distant part of the tent, behind Lady Blakeney, in the direction of the main entrance to the booth. There was a slight pause after she had spoken, and then Marguerite slowly turned in order to see who this official representative of France was, whom, at the young actress's request, she had just agreed to receive in her house. In the doorway of the tent, framed by its gaudy draperies, and with the streaming sunshine as a brilliant background behind him, stood the sable-clad figure of Chauvelin. End of chapter 6.